Bethesda, there is nothing I love more than to sit down, comfy chair, turn on my PC, fire up a brand new RPG, lose myself, think, oh my God, just think of this world, just think of all the planets I can visit, all the immersive things that I can get involved with, all the fights, all the relationships, all the people I meet, all the places I go. I'm so excited to go there. And you know, I love nothing more than, with all of that laid out in front of me, I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us.
And as to be expected, usual suspects, as well as all of these just big YouTubers that talk about gaming, had to chime in because, well, it's safe, right? It's the overreacting guy. He's triggered. He's talking about the woke, the anti-SJWs are at it again, because that is the safe position to take, even though there are plenty examples of pro-social justice weirdos spazzing out all over the internet. They don't got shit to say about that because it's not safe. But now all of a sudden they want to grow a nutsack on this on this issue. Let's just say that.
We can't see past our own fucking reflection. That's the level of our narcissism here at Bethesda Western Game Company. Fuck your immersion. Fuck you having a good time. Fuck you falling into a world and just getting lost. No, no, no. Current fucking day.
You cannot ignore this away. If you want to return to normalcy, you can take both positions, right? If you absolutely have to play this game, or you just needed a RPG that you wanted to have some fun with, right? So you're willing to ignore the things that, let's say, Az was talking about, or it's just not a make or break for you. You can say that or have that position while also admitting that, well, this goofy stuff is there, especially with this whole pronoun stuff. People can act like, oh, well, what's the big deal? Wait a minute. Have you not been paying attention? Certain industries and even countries have it to where you in the wrong and maybe even criminal for misgendering somebody. You act like, oh, it's not a big deal that these people are leaning into this nonsense. That's a gaslight. And it always was.
And you wonder why people are getting so fucking sick and tired. You take everything we love, all our immersions, all our fantasies, all our escapism, and you just can't help shovel your dog shit, fucking crap ideology into everything, every single solitary fucking thing.
Right? I'm gonna be honest with you. Even if you say, well, it was just this little thing, I do believe that that's a coward's way out. If you can't at minimum, I'm not saying it's a coward's way out to go play the game. No. I'm saying it's a coward's way out when you are upset at someone for acknowledging what is and then trying to pretend it away like it's not there. That's the coward's way out. That's what I'm saying.
So let me get this straight. People can make videos ranting about things like microtransactions, season passes, games as a service, studios shutting down, crunch time, lazy ports, price increases, console versus PC, delayed games, and broken games, but other people ranting about pronouns and other forms of propaganda in a game is a problem? Keep in mind that in Starfield, you can have a male or female character. Oh wait, I'm sorry. You can have body type A and body type B have he, him, she, her, or they, them pronouns. Funny because if trans people really believed they were the sex they thought they were, then male and female options should be fine. If you are trying to damage control this delusional lunacy and think anti-woke people are the ones who need to seek help, then you must be playing Starfield in a padded cell next to a bottle of Risperidon. You know gaming has gone to shit when people are out here finding ways to defend current day Bethesda. And for what? A glorified last-gen Fallout 4 in space, powered by a rundown fossil of an engine that could barely hold itself together like Joe Biden walking up a flight of stairs. This woke ideological crap is something that's not exclusive to gaming, but other forms of entertainment, society included, and is being pushed as no big deal. And apparently these people don't like to hear shouting from someone who is passionate about an issue they care about. Hopefully these same individuals don't like guys like Angry Joe. We're really going to pretend that none of this nonsense has been pushed in media for years? We're also going to pretend it's always anti-woke people complaining when there's no shortage of evidence featuring leftist weirdos having mental breakdowns over trivial shit? But let me ask you this. Who do you think are burning books, destroying statues, causing riots, forcing sports teams to change their names, forcing companies to change the names of dirty rice and pancake syrup, taking kids to drag shows, and grooming kids to have sex change operations against the wishes of the parents? Yeah, I'll take leftists for 500, Alex. But brave Marxists, remind me again, which group is the real problem? It's no surprise that the woke mob is defending Starfield and its obvious ESG pandering bullshit. It's also not surprising to see Bethesda apologists defend Starfield. And it's definitely not surprising to see both groups going after heelvsbabyface and anyone else who echoes his thoughts. But what's baffling is to see individuals who claim they are against the woke nonsense both unintentionally and intentionally join the woke mob and the Bethesda apologists and try to shame Az from heelvsbabyface for his opinion on Starfield. Apparently Az's delivery was not the correct way to go about the issue, because talking nicely about these issues with these people always goes well, right? Pretending that just snickering and laughing at the woke corporations, but still supporting them by buying their products and enjoying them does nothing to help combat the propagandist far left ideologies. But it gets better. According to some, pronouns in Starfield is not a big deal, because surely it starts and ends with the pronouns and the character creator, right? The naivety so many people have with this topic is pitiful. I'm assuming some of these individuals have been living under a rock for about a decade, or are choosing willful ignorance in the name of their addictions to entertainment and media. Read the room. It's not hard to see the clown world we are living in.
Listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier.
Yes?
So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there.
You're a dude.
My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance.
Uh-huh.
The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place.
Yeah.
I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC...
In case anyone wasn't aware, Starfield has more woke nonsense besides pronouns. And you don't have to play the game to find that out. There's clips on social media that will show you. And this was what actually set Az off. He was several hours into the game before he did his rant. His reaction was justified, because like him, we're tired of all this bullshit. You may not care or pretend to care when it's convenient, but the rest of us notice it, and it's gotten so blatantly obvious that Stevie Wonder can see it. This isn't about side versus side. This is about understanding how companies under the behest of ESG investors are trying to normalize gender and identity politics through these games and movies. To suggest we ignore the blatant left-wing propaganda plaguing entertainment and society is foolish. Thinking all of this nonsense will eventually go away because of how nonsensical it is shows how little people understand the bigger picture. All of this bullshit doesn't just disappear. Defending it by proudly ignoring it and unconsciously siding with the mob supporting it does not make all of this go away. It does the opposite. It keeps this nonsense going on and makes it even harder to get rid of. Plenty of nonsense gets traction if it becomes normalized, because to the corporations like BlackRock pushing this stuff, it's not about morality or justice for any groups in particular. It ultimately comes down to how useful will the ensuing chaos and societal breakdowns be to their agendas. We want normalcy back, in society and in entertainment. Escapism has been under attack for years by woke hacks that want to condition people to act and think a certain way, pandering and virtue signaling to smooth brains out there, and having mobs try to cancel people like some half-baked thought police promoting social engineering and radical far-left ideologies to the masses. From schools, jobs, public events, television, films, comics, and video games. To those who gleefully feed into the woke slop from ESG-funded companies, perhaps you could take the time to really listen to what someone on the opposite spectrum has to say about these topics. It doesn't have to be me. There's plenty of people out there saying what needs to be said and who actually understand it and aren't taking the easy route by choosing to accept and do what these goblin-like mobs want you to do and follow whatever the current narrative is. You might understand why things like pronouns is in fact a real issue that can manifest into something damaging, just like many other things have over the years. And to those who claim to be against the woke nonsense, I guess some of you guys want to play the shiny new thing and find enjoyment out of it. But you do know you can take time out of white knighting for a product and speak out against the woke shit, instead of desperately trying to find an issue with what someone said about an obvious woke game that screams last gen, made by a company that quite frankly has been on the decline for years. It's fine if you like the game, but don't leave your morality behind once you finally get your hands on the next product in your trough. But keep in mind, it's not going to get better as long as these companies keep getting your money and time. In fact, the quality of the game or media you're consuming is irrelevant, because the ability to say no and not have fear of missing out for the sake of caring about the direction society is taking is much more important. And no amount of coping, self-delusion, or mental gymnastics for the sake of some piece of plastic will change that. Modern gaming fucking sucks because of the constant slop we keep getting served. Escapism is looking bleak, with people from all sides trying to convince us that it's fine and not a big deal. Some people will say that some of the anti-woke products are also bad, and I agree, there are some poor products from both sides in general. However, that point is irrelevant. I don't care if the game is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece in terms of gameplay. If there are woke ideologies being pushed in them, the most powerful thing you can do is say no. Because if you can't say no, then you're at the mercy of whatever these corporations want to subject and condition you with. And to the people who claim that they're against wokeness but make excuses for these products, you become the exact thing you go against: a corporate slave. While not realizing that those trying to control the conversation are just ensuring a dystopian future where what you are allowed to think and say is bought, tagged, and paid for.
What is this he, she, some kind of a science fiction deal?